The story of Britani Bateman and her daughter Olivia has taken a turn so unexpected, so tangled, and so emotionally explosive that fans of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are still trying to make sense of it. But what if I told you the truth behind their feud isn't what you think? What if the drama we saw on screen was only the surface of a much deeper breakdown, one built on misunderstandings, half-truths, and a telephone game that spiraled completely out of control? Before we unravel the entire story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another deep dive into the reality behind reality TV. For years, viewers believed one narrative. Britani joined Season 5 estranged from her daughters, unable to film with them, caught in a storm of personal issues and emotional distance. But when Olivia recently spoke out, her words flipped the entire storyline upside down. According to her, the version of events her mother keeps repeating isn't just exaggerated, it's fundamentally wrong. And she's tired of being painted as the daughter who abandoned her mother for the cameras. Olivia explained that before Season 5 even began filming, she and her sister were already distant from Britani. The fractures in their relationship started long before Bravo stepped in. Olivia claimed that things shifted dramatically when Britani married Olivia's former stepdad, and over time, Britani became less present. The pattern, Olivia says, repeated itself again when Britani began her on and off relationship with Jared Osmond, a man who has been in and out of Britani's life so many times that even fans have lost track. Each relationship seemed to pull Britani deeper into a bubble, leaving her daughters on the outside. But the twist comes when Olivia addresses Britani's claim that the daughters refused to film because Bronwyn Newport supposedly told her friends, who then told the daughters, that Britani had been trash-talking them on camera. It's the story Britani has leaned on, repeated, and used to explain the divide. The story she believes is the reason her daughters ghosted her. The story she insists caused the emotional explosion between them. Except, according to Olivia, it isn't true. Olivia revealed that this entire situation was nothing more than a telephone game gone wrong. A chain of retold information, passed from one person to another, losing clarity each time until it became a distorted version none of them recognized. Olivia described it as misinformation that grew a life of its own. Rumors turned into assumptions. Assumptions turned into hurt, and hurt turned into silence. She said they were told that Britani had blamed them for her divorce, that she said her daughters didn't talk to her because they were jealous, that they were acting like spoiled or entitled brats. But these accusations, Olivia says, were never rooted in fact. They were whispers, not direct quotes. Warnings, not receipts. People around the family weren't trying to sabotage anyone. They genuinely believed they were protecting the girls. But when you're already estranged from someone, even the smallest rumor can feel like confirmation of your worst fears. Olivia admitted that hearing these things, true or not, made her and her sister pull even further away. It didn't start the estrangement, but it deepened it. It created a new wall, one built on confusion and fear of how they'd look on national television. Because when you're a teenager and someone tells you the world is about to hear your own mother call you a monster, what do? Olivia said the idea of filming became unbearable. Every scenario played out in her mind ended the same way, with her being villainized. This is where the story becomes emotionally complex. Olivia wasn't angry at the people who passed the information along. She said they weren't doing anything wrong. They weren't trying to stir drama. They were giving her a heads up. The real misunderstanding, the real fracture, happened long before these rumors ever surfaced. And yet Britani, Olivia says, keeps blaming Bronwyn or anyone else who fits the narrative, keeps repeating a story that has already been clarified, keeps placing the reason for their disconnect on someone else. But Olivia says plainly, her mother was wrong, and the rumors didn't break their relationship. The estrangement was already alive, already growing, already hurting. Still, the most surprising moment came when Olivia admitted she now understands her mother more than she ever did before. She recently went through her own breakup, a painful one, and for the first time, she understands how messy relationships can be. How someone can be pulled into emotional chaos so deep they don't notice who's being left behind. How love, even when unhealthy, can consume your time, your attention, your energy, It is the first hint of empathy Olivia has expressed publicly. And for a family so divided, that small shift may be the beginning of something new. But the story doesn't end here. There are layers still to uncover. Britani's perspective, Jared's role, the deeper emotional fallout, and whether mother and daughter are heading toward healing or another explosion. As Olivia continued unpacking the truth behind her fractured relationship with Britani, she made something else clear. This wasn't a feud built on one moment. It was years of buildup, years of unmet expectations, years of watching their mother drift in and out of relationships that made the girls feel like afterthoughts. Britani's marriage to Olivia's former stepdad had already reshaped the family dynamic. And by the time Jared Osmond entered the picture, the emotional distance had become a routine. Each breakup and reunion between Britani and Jared pulled the family into a cycle they couldn't escape, a cycle Olivia now realizes was far more complicated than she understood at the time. And yet, even with that clarity, Olivia still struggles with the narrative Britani pushes publicly. While Britani insists the daughters turned their backs on her because of what they heard from Bronwyn Newport's circle, Olivia insists that the timeline simply doesn't match. They weren't filming because they were already hurting. They weren't speaking because the estrangement was already real. And hearing rumors, however inaccurate, only added fuel to a fire they were already standing in. Still, Olivia didn't shy away from acknowledging the emotional impact that rumor mill had on her teenage mind. Imagine being young, already in a tense relationship with your mother, and suddenly hearing that she might be blaming you for the breakdown of her marriage, that she might be calling you jealous, that she might be painting you as the villain of her life on national television. Even if it wasn't true, the fear alone was enough to push her away from the cameras. Enough to make her question whether she ever wanted her story told on reality TV at all. This is where the story takes a quieter, more reflective turn. Despite everything, Olivia is no longer pointing fingers. She's not calling out the people who shared the rumors. She's not attacking Jared. She's not even blaming Bravo or the show. Instead, she is simply trying to rewrite the narrative, to set the record straight in a way that doesn't villainize anyone, just clarifies the truth. But Britani, according to Olivia, keeps revisiting the same story. The idea that one person, Bronwyn, caused the whole breakdown. The idea that Olivia and her sister ghosted her because they were manipulated. The idea that the daughters chose strangers over their own mother. Olivia says it never happened that way. They were already hurting, already distant, already unsure how to navigate a mother who seemed consumed by a relationship they couldn't compete with. What truly stung Olivia was not the rumor. It was the way Britani refused to acknowledge the deeper issues. The complicated history, the isolation the daughters felt, the emotional void that had been growing long before Bravo rolled out the cameras. And to Olivia, every time Britani shifts the blame, it feels like another moment where their real pain gets brushed aside. But then comes the twist, one that softens the edges of the story. Olivia reveals that she now understands something she couldn't before. She recently went through a breakup herself, one that shook her emotionally. For the first time, she felt how blinding heartbreak can be, how it makes you hold on to relationships you know aren't right, how it clouds your decisions, how it makes you push people away without meaning to. She finally sees a piece of what her mother might have been going through. The confusion, the desperation, the tunnel vision that comes with wanting something to work, even when everything around you is falling apart. It doesn't erase the past. It doesn't repair the relationship instantly. But it changes the tone of the story, because now Olivia doesn't speak with anger. She speaks with understanding. And that shift might be the very thing that opens the door for healing. The truth is, there is no single villain in this family drama. Not Britani, not Olivia, not Jared, not Bronwyn. The real culprit was miscommunication, layered on top of emotional distance, layered on top of old heartbreaks no one ever addressed. A telephone game stretched across years of unresolved wounds. Whether Britani and Olivia will rebuild their relationship remains unclear. But one thing is certain. Olivia has finally taken control of her own narrative. No more rumors, no more misunderstandings, no more stories told through the lens of someone else's pain. She speaks now with honesty, clarity, and a surprising compassion for the mother who hurt her, but who she still hopes to understand.